So although Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of my thing, clearly, recently upon starting a brand new playthrough from scratch, I found myself falling back into old habits. After entering Chapter 2, I would absolutely fly through all of the stranger missions and side quests, catch all the legendary fish and animals that I could, totally ignore the camp chores and interactions, and basically just ignore the world around me if I didn't need to be somewhere specific. In turn, when I would reach the later chapters, with the exception of a few stranger quests, I wouldn't have much left to enjoy other than the narrative. And it dawned on me, I've been playing the entire of Red Dead Redemption 2 wrong. So as I began to take my time immersing myself in the world of the title, I truly began to appreciate this masterpiece that Rockstar Games had created and began playing in a manner of which I believe Rockstar intended. Today we'll be talking about this. Welcome to the video, you're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching, please consider doing so. Without further delay, let's begin. How you've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 wrong all this time. As a bit of a disclaimer, there's no real wrong way to play the title, but this video is just about the most immersive or enjoyable way, if you will. Rockstar Games made Red Dead Redemption 2 open world for a reason. We're past the early days of the company's Grand Theft Auto titles, in which you would have to progress to certain points in the narrative before unlocking the next island or area. In RDR2, you can literally explore the world in its entirety as soon as you reach Chapter 2. For starters, even in the prologue portion of the title, whereas most, including myself, would just absolutely blitz through the missions just to reach the open world aspect, I instead would take some downtime and sit and read Arthur's journal. Even from Coulter, reading his journal will give you much more of the story concerning the Blackwater ferry disaster than the narrative tends to do, and more importantly, the entire thing is told through Arthur's perspective, giving more depth to the character we've come to know and love. I would find myself repeating this activity throughout my travels every couple of days or so. Arthur literally jots everything in his journal, and it's much more than sketches when out bird watching or some such. After key events, he will note his own thoughts on the matter, and depending on which style of playthrough you're currently enjoying, whether that be an outlaw or a good guy, it will differentiate. Taking the time to read through the journal is an absolute must, especially when you reach the epilogue portion of the game, where as John, you can sit and reminisce about the life of Arthur Morgan. If you enjoy the title, similar to myself, you'll want to keep it as immersive as possible, and there's several ways to do this. Your horse, for example. Hosea Matthews mentioned early on that there's nothing wrong with owning more than one horse, and while that may be true, sticking to the same horse for an extended period of time can be beneficial to Arthur. The different breeds of mounts in the game control differently, so keeping the same one and increasing your bonding with said horse can truly make it feel like it's Arthur's personal mount. And the fact that you can customize the animal is a bonus, giving it a unique identity that's yours. Your horse is your best friend in the title, and is your companion throughout the world, imperative to travelling, so let's discuss the outdoors a little. The game isn't just about the narrative, and even though it's of course a predominant part of Red Dead Redemption 2, there's no need to constantly head to the next mission just because you can. Take your time in the world and explore the wilderness, see what it has to offer. It's more than just trees, rockery and snow. Personally, I like to head out with nothing but a rifle, a bow and my pistols, and live off the land. I'm actually pretty sure I have a video on that somewhere. Living off the land is a game away from the game. Travelling, studying animals, learning the correct techniques to capture game before cooking it over the stove for replenishment. All of this will keep you occupied for several in-game days alone. Also, if you don't have the correct weapon type for a specific animal, use the lasso approach for a close kill, maintaining its current pelt rating. And what about fishing? It's more than just throwing out a line to catch lunch. Different bait can capture different fish. Bodies of water with pockets of insects hovering over them are a good place to look. Fishing when it's raining can be beneficial, as the fish will rise to the top of the water, and even choosing what time of day to fish can be impactful, as dusk or dawn seem to be the most profitable. And what about the legendary animal aspect that you unlock from the early stages of Chapter 2? There's more than just meat to be found there. Using the pelts of most animals, but especially legendary ones, will allow you to visit the trapper and create clothing, especially handy if you're heading north to the more colder climates in search of wildlife. Not to mention, when hunting legendary prey, you don't have to use a specific weapon or ammunition type as you would with other animals. You can literally use anything you like, so have fun with this. Living off the land in a frontiersman manner isn't the only way to enjoy your time in the world. There are many different approaches you can adhere to. You can play the helpful guy, assisting those under duress, the bandit, which is kinda self-explanatory, an immersive play, where you sit and just take in the world, the family man at Beach's Hope, where you stick to ranch work, the bounty hunter, where you can earn some extra cash by capturing undesirables, or even a townsman, where you stick to the likes of Valentine and spend your days at the saloon or hotel, or many more. There's so many approaches you can choose from to pass the time entertainingly in Red Dead Redemption 2, or why not combine a few of them together? But what else is there to do to pass the time in a title? Well, lest we forget, Arthur Morgan is an outlaw, so why not pursue this avenue, but with a smarter approach? I know I've personally been guilty of bursting in somewhere, all guns blazing, but if someone was to plan a heist of sorts, certainly they would prefer to adopt a less attention-grabbing method. For example, the back room to the doctors in Valentine, operated by the O'Driscolls. If you burst in firing off shots, of course it's going to draw the attention of the local law, especially in this case as it's their side hustle, so why not adopt a different approach, a bow and arrow maybe. That should keep the noise down, allowing you to scurry away with the takings. As a wanted man, the last thing you want to be doing is making yourself publicly known for negative deeds, so why not chop and change Arthur's appearance to help him blend in? I'm sure we all have a preferred set of clothing and hair and beard type, but would you really sport the same attire day in day out for weeks on end? Altering things such as these is not only beneficial to keeping Arthur away from the eyes of the law, but also keeps the game fresh, enhancing a more authentic feel. Also, whilst not trying to draw attention to yourself, ride slowly through towns on horseback, walk at a regular pace. Imagine in real life visiting your local store or bar. Would you sprint the entire way there and back? Slow it down, give yourself time to take in the world that surrounds you. Arthur's personal care is important, and it's something I personally can be guilty of forgetting about at times. Prepare food for the road and ensure Arthur gets his 3 square meals per day. There are benefits to this, don't forget. Different body weight can affect Arthur's mobility as well as how much damage he can withstand. Explore with the different types of food while visiting towns. For example, the prime rib you can purchase in Saint-Denis will be much more full of nutrition than the oatmeal in Valentine. Also, don't forget about adding your own spices and flavourings when cooking meat over a stove. Study these and see what herbs affect different aspects of your health and well-being. But what to do when you become a little tired of exploring and just want a little rest and relaxation? Why not head back to camp? There's so much more to these settlements than grabbing a bite, changing Arthur's clothing and chopping wood. Take a walk around, interact with the Van der Lin's gang, make sure to witness any interaction you can, whether it be John and Abigail fighting, or late evening when the posse come together around the campfire to swap stories. This is an incredible way of learning about everyone's past, with most of them telling how each actually ended up with the gang. This not only adds to the authentic feel of the title, but also grants you greater knowledge of the history of the family. But soon enough, you'll want to be back out exploring again, so what else can you do to fill the time other than what we've discussed? Why not complete all the challenges? These are a fun way to learn about different activities, weapons, interactions, all sorts. So set aside some time for this to get the full immersion of the game. And what about the stranger missions? There's an abundance of these, so be sure to space them out over time. Don't do what I normally do and fly through them all in Chapter 2. It may be even beneficial to begin some as Arthur and later complete them as John. For example, Hamish Sinclair, whom you can obtain as horse, Buell, in the latter stages of the primary narrative. Or the trick with the strange Aberdeen family, knowing that your time as Arthur is coming to an end after the brother-sister duo has robbed you, return later as John to collect Arthur's funds. At the end of it all, whichever style you choose to play as, whether it be one specific manner or a mix of several, the point is to enjoy yourself. Take your time in Red Dead Redemption 2. See all there is to see in the world, don't rush through. Meet all of the strangers and explore the cities and towns at your own leisure, as opposed to waiting until it fits in line with the narrative. The game is paced slowly for a reason. Make your character yours, be unique, Try out different playstyles to see which one you enjoy the most. Treat it as a real world simulator, which is basically what it is, but most importantly, have fun. If you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure to hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share with those you may feel would enjoy this video. Let me know in the comment section what type of character you prefer to play as, and if you have tried different playstyles to compare one to the other. Thank you all for watching. You've been listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and I'll see you in the next video.